In this video, I want to talk a little bit about some of the other basic Maya tools that we can use. Mostly we're going to talk about combine and separate tools as well as center pivot and kind of how to edit the center pivot. Now, we'll start with center pivot and we'll talk about that for a little bit. So if I hit insert, this is going to toggle us to our center pivot tool. And notice now I can move my center pivot, and then if I hit insert again, now our center pivot is where we left it before we hit insert. Now this is kind of crucial, and there's a lot of things you can use this for. Now if I hold insert and I snap it to, let's say, the corner of an object, say I want to kind of get these to line up perfectly, I hold V to snap, and there we go. Now I know that these are perfectly lined up because they're snapping to the vertices. And then our pivot point is perfectly in line because when I set up my pivot point, I hold V to snap to those points. This is a great way to use this tool. And here we go. So let's just, same thing with kind of rotating. So now we, instead of rotating from the center, if we go up here and we do modify center pivot, notice we're rotating from the center of the object. That's usually what you kind of want to do, but let's say, hey, I want to get this to kind of hinge along this object. So if I go here, let's undo a little bit, set this up. Let's go hit V, hold V, snapping, go back to our component, our rotation tool. Now hold V again. Let's snap it here first to move it, holding V, and then let's hold our rotate. So now we know that it's going to hinge along that. So a lot more control with this. Alright, and let's just talk about the combine and separate tool real quick. Now, basically, when objects are made, they're separate. Now, let's say I want to combine these two objects, I can select both of them, select one, hold shift, select the other, and then if I shift right click, I can go down here and combine the two. So now they're selected as one object. So if I deselect and select them, they're one object. Now, same thing if I want to separate them, shift right click with both selected, and we can separate. Now notice one has a white box, one has a green. This is kind of like our last selected object. Last selected, there you go. Notice the changing. So one thing to keep in mind though with the combine and separate tool is we're not actually combining them 100%. We're actually just kind of doing a raw combination. They're not perfectly combined because if you look here, if I move this, we have faces on the inside of these that aren't empty. The best way to combine an object is to combine it with another object that's completely empty. And we'll talk about that in the next lesson.